Everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kyle and the channel is called Kyle by the Creek. I bought a tractor a number of weeks ago. Might have been a month and a half ago at this point. I paid for it, I inspected it, couldn't pick it up at the time, so it's been sitting at the guy's place near a barn, and I'm gonna go pick it up today. So let's go check it out. Alright, so we have a Sabre tractor here. I've been picking up a lot of these John Deeres lately. 20 horsepower, 46-inch deck. This would be the third in a row for me. This one is an automatic, so we got a hydro. It's in really nice shape, actually. The deck looks fantastic, really. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a very complete tractor. I think it's gonna clean up really nice. And I don't even remember the story with this. What did I say, a month and a half ago? It might be more than that, guys. I don't remember. I don't remember if it runs, I know it has potential, or else I wouldn't have spent $150 on it. So I remember how much it was. And I did check it out, and yeah, it has compression. Oh yeah. So we could hook a jump pack up to it and see if it'll fire off. That'd be pretty cool. In case it does, let's get the trailer ramped down, because if it's running for a second, we can put it up on the trailer easily, you know, without pushing it. Well, how about that, guys? She runs. It's running on basically full choke, so I bet we'll need a carb clean or just let it run for a little while. But yeah, drives good. Like I said, it's complete and it's in pretty decent shape. This might be an easy one. All right, strap down, hood's back on, air filter and air filter cover back on. Let's get them home. We're back about 2 weeks later. I did check the fuse, and the fuse is good. So I'm thinking it's just a bad solenoid, so I'm going to test it out. But I'm going to remove this battery because the solenoid is right past the battery down there. Kind of easy to get to once you get the battery out of the way. It looks a little melted to me, especially this post right here, which, you know, when they get hot, when you try to crank them, that's what happens. They melt down a bit. It's a 4-post, so they're easy to get installed. You don't have to worry about a clean ground. It's got a ground wire, so I like those. But I'm just gonna hook up a battery jumper to these cables. We'll try to start the engine again. If it doesn't work, which I don't think it will, we'll just bridge the gap on this solenoid and see if that cranks over the engine. So getting that click, but not turning over with the key. So let's try bridging the gap. Yeah. I just installed a used solenoid. I want to see if this does it. Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah, it wants to run on choke, but it just needed a solenoid. Running off choke now. Just warmed up a little bit. Uh-oh. Oh, we lost it. That's off choke. See if we'll idle. Yeah. They're spinning slowly. Doesn't seem like it's revving up all the way. I wonder if it's running on one cylinder. Or maybe it's running out of gas. What do we have for gas in here? Oh, there's no gas. Just some junk down there. All right, let's clean that out a bit and give it some gas. All right, well, we got some fresh gas in there.
Finally.
Finally. Like you know what's going on with this project. And tank is cleaned out. Try this again. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're gonna have a fire here. Wow, that's bad. Yeah, so we got the float stick in there and fuel is just flooding out of the carburetor. Kind of looks like a replacement carb on here. All right, let's let that evaporate a bit. All right, it's the next day. Let's get this carburetor off. We have to start with the engine cover though. Pretty hard to get to it without taking off the cover. just try to do this whole job outside here. That one was loose. That could have been it. Yeah, well, a little bit down in there. Just some gunk, and looks great. I think we had a screw that was loose. That's it. I'll clean this out real quick. Pretty convinced it was just that screw that was loose. All right, the carburetor's back on. Let's fire it up, make sure it's not leaking. I think it's pretty hard to tell on camera, but that's the vacuum tube there, and that's pretty good and cracked, and they always get weathered and cracked there, so I just replaced it. All right, it's a couple days later. We got sidetracked with some other things. It's a freezing cold morning, but let's see if this thing, I know it runs. We got it to run when we did the carb clean, but we did not drive it. Starter doesn't sound very good. Did the starter finally go? Sound like it. That's great. It's April 9th, and we're back with a propane heater. Since I cleaned up behind my shed, I removed the diesel heater, but I need some heat in the shop today. So we got this thing running like old times. Well, I have the engine cover off again, and pretty hard to get to this bolt. Really, they want you to take the flywheel off to get to this one of these bolts for the starter. But the plastic gear is just all stripped out, so I'm gonna try to just get that Bendix gear out of here, undo the clip here. We'll see if I can be successful with that, but I should have plenty of starters to scrounge parts from, so let's try to go with the easy route here. All right, strike that. I did find my T40 like Allen key. These are really handy, so this should actually be the easiest route. Just remove the whole starter, put another starter on. Still hard to see it. There we go. And since I've been cleaning inside the shed, I have good access to my bin of starters. So here's the one that was on the Sabre tractor. This is a plastic Bendix. I don't know if you could tell it's all chewed up, but all sorts of chewed up. It has 16 teeth, and you know, it'd be nice to go to a metal one, but from what I can tell, the metal ones only have 14 teeth on the gear. So I have a couple plastic ones, so we'll use this plastic one. She's growling at the propane heater and running away too. Don't worry about that, Carmen. All right, new starter's on. Let's see if it starts up. Okay. I didn't bench test it. Well, I guess we can do that quick right now. Let's see what's going on here. We have a problem. Did I blow a fuse? I don't know. Seems like we have a dead starter. Great. Well, I was bored and I found another junkyard starter. I have one ordered, so we're gonna put a new one on here, but I'm just dying to see this thing run here. It's only running on one cylinder. Let's try that again. Yeah, this right one isn't firing, and I could tell I had spark when I pulled the boot. So all right, let's check that hole, see if we have a dead cylinder here. Yeah, spark plug's cold. Oh, we got a piston, we got a connecting rod. Okay, that's good. Could be a valve issue, could be a spark plug. We'll check this plug here. Alright, so I just tested it and we do have spark at the plug. So, yeah, could be valves. It's not a plug, it's not a coil, but our connecting rod is not blown, so that's the good news. I don't really want to break it. There we go. Okay. Don't immediately see a problem there. These valves seem fine. Wonder if we have a, I don't know, a grounding issue. Somehow when the plug is in, it doesn't have spark, but it's pretty strange. Well, this is like 18 thou, maybe, yeah. So they do need to be adjusted, but again, it doesn't look terrible. I'll check the other one. Well, this is like 20 thou, or maybe 19. Yeah. So that's even worse. All right, let's adjust those. Well, I just threw on this different coil just to see, and it's not the right coil, but it is making spark, and I'm getting spark down to the boot, but it's not firing that cylinder. So the only other thing I can think of is it's not getting fuel. and that could be the carburetor, because there is two sides to the carburetor on this V-twin, and one of the ports might be clogged. I don't know, it's very odd. I could check compression, but the valve job was easy. Just figured I'd throw a new coil on there, because after the valve job there was no difference. So I threw a coil on, still no difference. Could check compression, could get back into the carb, and then maybe timing. I don't know. Not too many things you can go after when your connecting rod works. All right, getting into the carb, and this post here was loose. Hopefully it's not, no, it's not stripped out, just didn't get tightened. So those are strange. You have to have these inverted torques. Yeah, so I'm just trying to come up with things that are wrong. So we'll find out if there's anything else. All right, with the carb, I always check with these two holes right here. You want to be able to see through them, and we can see through one, but not the other. Doesn't exactly line. Oh no, it does. Yeah, that is. Let's see. This is maybe a better way to see it. Yeah, so that side with the dead hole right now, that is clogged. So gotta clean that out. All right, that's better. So we're put back together. All that we could find wrong with it was one clogged port and one loose post, all on this side where we're not getting the cylinder to fire. So let's try this again. I was just trying to make some idle adjustments. This replacement carb is not doing the best job of getting all the way down to idle, but this thing is running really nice now. You don't always see that, where the reason you're not getting one cylinder to fire off is because of fuel. It is a little weird, but I've seen it before, so luckily we knew what to do there, and we don't have any major problems with this engine. All right, let's see if she drives around. so it performed all right. Engine's running decently. Seems like it might be over revving a little bit or not idling down enough, something. I'll keep messing with that. Blade belt seems loose or something. I'll have to check on the orientation of all this. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, that, I don't know. That seems a little loose to me. And I can kind of hear it. It just doesn't feel like this is like getting up to RPM. It takes a little while. The belt looks good though. A couple days later here, our starter arrived. So let's get this thing installed. Now that we have this running really nicely, I think what we'll do after we get the starter is either give it a power wash, or we might just take the deck off and then give the thing a wash. But we're going to inspect the mowing deck, see if there's anything wrong with the spindles or the belt or anything like that. Okay, the starter is installed, but we are leaking fuel terribly, and I don't know why. I didn't do anything. It was leaking before. I don't know if you can tell, it's dripping a lot down there. All right, trying to address this flooding issue. I think it's actually just the bowl gasket got a little deformed. It won't actually sit in there in the groove very well anymore. So that needs to be replaced. I think that's gonna solve it. Cause I mean, that was really gushing out. That didn't seem like needle and seat problem. That was just, we didn't even have a seal on the bowl. All right, here's the old one, and I found a much better one in my parts bin, so we're throwing that in. Carburetor is back on. Let's see if it'll start up and not flood out. Might need a little cranking. Oh yeah, it's running good now. It's not leaking. I'm not flooding out. Starter works good. I'm gonna bring that at full throttle is too high. Like, you know, I gotta adjust the spring or something. Adjust the throttle cable. Just seems like it's over revving, and then it doesn't go down low enough, you know. So I want to solve that a bit. All right, we'll be cleaning this up and getting into the deck finally. All right, update. The project's starting to implode here. This is the third carburetor I've put on since I turned off the camera last. I just can't get it to run right. Like, it's running okay, but it's not idling down. Either that or it's, I don't know, it's a mess. I'm not happy with it. So I'm here at the governor, and I had to take all this stuff off the throttle plate. Of course, it's all blazing hot too right now because I've been running it. All right, so we're gonna make a governor adjustment here and see if things are out of spec, but just turn this knob counterclockwise while pinning the throttle to full throttle. Then you just tighten back down the 7/16 nut that I loosened, and that should do it. But we'll see if it's, you know, you could feel it right away if it didn't need to be adjusted. I kind of have a feeling it doesn't need to be adjusted, but I just don't know what to do at this point. So I'm here. All right, well, that governor adjustment seemed to help for a minute. It ran much better. We had an idle, we had full throttle, but then I was mowing a little bit and it died under load after about a minute of mowing. So that could be the carburetor, because this is, again, some aftermarket I don't know, very well used carburetor that I had in my parts bin. But this is really frustrating. So if you guys ever wonder why it takes a long time for videos to come out, you know, sometimes it takes a really long time to fix a tractor. I just, you know, I can't figure it out sometimes. So hopefully I have the governor adjusted correctly, and now it's just a matter of exchanging carburetors for, I think this would be the 4th time. So I don't know if you've ever done 4 carburetor swaps, but it gets a little old fast, especially when you need to push the tractor back into the shed. And out of total frustration, I just ordered a new carb. Yeah, it seemed like the governor adjustment did do something, but now it just dies under load. So that just could be the old carb that I put on it. So hopefully the governor adjustment we made was correct, and it needed, I guess it needed something, I don't know. But we gotta get this thing running right before we get to anything else on this tractor. Okay, so if you don't understand what's going on here, I know we got a tripod holding up a gas tank. All right, gravity feeding this thing runs perfectly now. From factory, this idle screw was screwed in a bit. Once I undid that, I have a perfect idle and a perfect full throttle. We're off choke. Everything is wonderful. Here's what I discovered with the fuel pump. It's just not pumping any fuel. It's doing a little bit, but not enough. So it's amazing. I'm just having so much fuel pump trouble lately, so that's why I'm laughing. It depends on which video of mine you're watching, but I'm dealing with fuel pumps right now. And yeah, we'll swap that one out, I guess, and see if that improves things. But clearly the governor is absolutely fine, and the new carb is running great. So, you know, I don't really have a problem in that area. It's just a matter about pumping fuel. So let's get after it, see if we can fix this thing. Oh, you guys are gonna absolutely love this. All right, nothing wrong with the fuel pump. We had a clog. If you remember way back, I said there's some floaties, and I know everyone at that point, you would have stripped this thing down to all its nuts and bolts and started fresh. I know, I should have cleaned the tank. We got that loose. We're gonna get the tank all cleaned out now. And yeah, this thing does run. I blew out the clog, and then it ran fine with the fuel system the way it's designed. So I know we solved it here. We just got to get this thing cleaned and put back. Okay, fuel tank is all cleaned out. Got everything put back together. Let's fire it up. I just took it for a ride, did a little bit of mowing. It is running perfectly, and it mows great. Front steering was just a little stiff. Grease in there. All right, I'm gonna give this thing a power wash. So we're staged up for a pressure wash here, and I am glad I went through all that I went through there, because, you know, there was a fuel clog issue, which we finally got sorted out. There was a flooding issue with the carb, so it's better off we have a new carb anyway. And we did have some inconsistency with the governor. You know, I was talking about high revving and not throttling down. Some of that was carburetor related, and it could have even been clog related, but I was having all those issues before I was, you know, stalling under load. So I think in a roundabout way, we got this thing sorted out the way we need to. I even am pretty sure I can make a quick adjustment here to make this mowing deck just feel, the blade belt here, feel just a little bit tighter. I can just draw that nut in, and that should help with that. So we will take this deck off in a little bit because we'll sharpen the blades and everything, but I just wanted to leave it on because, you know, we just have all this sand to get off of it, so might as well just leave it on for the power wash here. Back in the shed. All right, it feels great to have this thing running properly. Started right up after the power wash, so let's drop this deck. This took an incredible amount of cleaning. I don't know, you can't tell on the time lapse, I'm sure, but just way more water than I'm used to using. This deck was filthy. So all right, we'll get it off, we'll inspect the blades. I'm sure they're very dull, and we'll sharpen those. Everything is really quiet. I don't think we're gonna have any problems with any bearings or belts. It mows great, so hopefully it's just a inspection and sharpening of the blades. Okay, got the deck off. Blades, these are heavy duty blades. They're worn, but they're gonna be fine. There's definitely, I don't know, they might be the original blades, but I'm not swapping them. I'm just gonna sharpen these. Everything's there, everything's straight. Plenty of metal on these things. You know, these are thick, so these will be just fine. Yeah, the deck's in great condition. Paint is pretty good. There's no way I'm gonna match this green paint with anything, so yeah, I have no intention of painting anything on this tractor. We can help that out. That thing's a little bit smashed, isn't it? All right, we'll pop that off and just give it a bend. Make sure it's not eating away at that pulley anymore. I put this thing through another power wash, and yeah, we do need a new deck belt here. We just can't seem to avoid it. So, all right, let's get that off and we'll start looking for another one. That is a pretty long belt, so I really doubt that I have that in my stash. So yeah, I gotta look up that belt. I haven't done that yet, but I took off this rear wheel because I still haven't removed the original solenoid. This thing is, I don't know if you can see these threaded bolts right here. That's what's holding that on from underneath. So somehow gotta get under there to unbolt them. I mean, really, it looks like the transmission's in the way. How insane is that? I don't see a way to remove that. So I have my other solenoid just like dangling in there, but that's not acceptable. So I gotta find a way to get that out. Oh, this is how I got it out. Yeah, I just cut it out. I was gonna give you guys like, here's the proper way to install a new solenoid on a Sabre because it's in a terrible spot, but I do not feel like dropping that transmission and all the components that go with it. That's the only way to get it. You know, you can move some of this stuff around a little bit, but you still have pretty much everything in the way, and I tried. All right, so we got to figure out a way to get this solenoid to be like mounted on these like that. That's, see, this was my plan. And I'll just put 2 nuts on there and we're good. That's how you remove the solenoid and install a new one. Okay, future owner, this solenoid is way easier to remove now. You're welcome. So you can actually get in there and replace it if it goes bad. Probably easiest to remove this wheel back here, unfortunately, but it's possible you could get in there. 7/16 nuts on top of there, and yeah, that's how I did it. And we're back a few days later here. Our new deck belt arrived. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. I want to measure the sizes because it looks like one's a 5/8. No, they're both 1/2-inch belts. This one's just like a thicker belt. Hopefully they're the same though. Yeah, it's roughly the same belt. And I made an adjustment to this engagement lever, and I think previously I said I would draw that nut in, but really I want to make it go out so that it applies a bit more tension on the belt. Anyway, here's a new belt. I kind of forget how this thing was routed, so I'm going to put you on time lapse and we'll see how long it takes me. I went back and reviewed my own footage, and I think this is correct. You have a very long stretch of belt in the back, ranging from that pulley all the way to this one. And then these are the ones I was questioning, but I think I have this right, especially with where the belt guides are, right on the bends. This is your flat side, flat idler, and that always has to be on the flat side of the belt. Actually, these are all flat side too, so that, yeah, this is correct. It is one way to check, like these ones will be your V, where the V belt goes in, and then if you just follow like the fact that these are flat, the flat back side of the belt has to ride on those, and that's usually how you can kind of figure it out even without a diagram. Alright, test mow went perfectly. It's mowing great. It's driving great. Engine is running great. It is time for a service. Basically like a brand new filter, but I have a new one for it. I want to try to fix this too. The plastic cracked. There used to be a screw that held this in, but we're going to add a washer. There we go. Might need one on the corner too. All right, got another screw down here. So at least it's not sagging. Looks better. Cleaned up pretty good. I even figured out the headlights. It's all working, guys, and we actually have a buyer for this thing. So in a day or two I'll be driving this to someone's house and even getting a machine in return for the delivery fee. So this is just working out great, because this is exactly how I like to acquire a machine. You know, fix it up, sell it, get one in return. It's like rinse and repeat, you know, the cycle continues. No, go ahead. You can explain it.
All right, so my uncle's best friend unfortunately passed away. This was his. He had it for about 10 years. And it sat for a couple of years. My uncle gave it to me when that guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, these are cool. They're just, I know I kind of passed on this one. He was offering it, but you know, they don't,
engine?
I'm all about resale, and those don't really sell,
Gotcha.
you know.
I mean,
they're fun to work on because they're pretty stout, but
if you want the engine, you can take the engine.
Maybe someday. Maybe I'll come back for it.
The engine was...
yeah, these are good as a flathead. Yeah, the flatheads are nice.
The engine was what I was told. The guy that gave me that, because a former teacher, he said, hey, I'm going to hook you up. I just moved here. He's like, I got this old tractor, but it needs an engine, so I'm going to get one. I think he paid $150. He put it in, and then the thing ran for like 4 years. This died. I was given this by my uncle, and basically it worked well for 2 years. And then it had an alternator issue. So we replaced the alternator, which at the very bottom, it has like a impossible nut to get to all the way back there. So my buddy helped me out. We put it in, and then this thing wasn't spinning anymore. So then he's like, okay, it's the valves. Which, anyway, so these guys, he said those needed to be timed and adjusted.
Yeah, because you got... Ooh. Yeah, you got one of your push rod's out. I'll take that just so it doesn't.
Yeah.
We won't travel with that loose. But yeah, you got the valve cover.
Yep. Here.
Yep.
The valve covers.
So it's locked up right now. It doesn't spin.
Yep,
Yeah.
up,
Oh, it does spin.
Like we would get it going,
Yeah.
and then it would spin like maybe an inch.
Oh, okay.
And then stop. And then it just was stuck.
It was probably the push rod was probably in the way, but it definitely needs so when a push rod comes out, you have to figure out why. So that's, sometimes the valves loosen up so much that the push rod just falls out. Other times there's some bigger issue, but yeah. No, I mean, it looks to me, I'm interested in this because it's in decent shape and it needs engine work, and that's usually something I do.
No, there was this would not go in reverse.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was a belt
Yep.
or something. So I would just like.
Okay, it went forward.
It went forward.
Interesting.
It cut great.
Okay.
I think I don't know if that's a belt thing, but
Yep,
there was a
that's
belt
weird.
that was really loose.
What is it? Is it a hydro? Looks like a hydrostatic. Could be linkage related. Could be belt related. Usually the hydro doesn't care forward or reverse. It should work the same. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it is any of that. Again, I'm not a big engine guy.
I'll figure it out.
But I would love to see this up and running.
That would be cool, right?
Because my uncle loved the fact that he gave it to me. It was his friend's thing.
Yeah.
I liked that it was still in use. So
Yeah.
I'd love for this thing to keep going.
Cool. Yeah, I'll work on it.
Got the extra pieces over here. So
Oh,
this,
right. Yeah, good.
everything at the top.
Perfect.
Got all the bolts that you need. I believe these are the valves.
Yeah.
This goes to this.
Yeah, this is the
guys.
hardware is pretty easy to get. This is what's hard to get if you don't
Okay.
have it. So
Yep.
that's good. Nice.
Now, the only thing is, it's currently locked.
Oh, okay. Won't roll.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can.
There's
do
some
magic.
So
I tried pulling that thing.
So usually that's what it is. They're funny though, because sometimes they won't pop. Like the hydro still has some fluid in it. Sometimes I find trying to start it helps to release the pressure. I don't know why that happens, but I've had that before. Yeah, well, and sometimes just rocking it back and forth eventually gets it.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
You know what I might do? Let me take this mowing deck off. That'll save us. Guys, that's all these. Sweet.
The key is in the ignition.
Great.
Like I said, if you want that engine, it's yours if you want it.
That's nice, thank you. I will let you know. All right, well, the Sabre has its new home. And as you saw, the seller helped me get the Ariens on, and the Ariens is definitely going to be a project here, but I mean, pretty nice shape machine. Let's get it home. I'm just picking up the camera about a week later here, and let's see, I just put some things back together. Just so I could keep this thing out in the elements here, but I have not touched this thing. You know, I'm still pretty sure I'll be able to get this thing running, so I think this will be something that works out pretty good for us. Just have the deck off over here. What's happened in a week? Well, this morning I delivered the rescue mission Cub Cadet, and in return got this Super LT for my delivery. And this is a 54-inch deck with a 27 horsepower Kohler, so it's even bigger than the rescue mission one. And I got this thing running on the trailer when I got home. The guy said it didn't run, or he couldn't get it started. Pretty sure it's running on one cylinder, but she runs and drives. This thing, the ugly tractor, I've been using that, and this thing mows my grass pretty nicely and does the hills and stuff. And then the other day I found this thing on the side of the road, and I put on a new deck belt. I did an oil change. I cleaned it up. I had to fix this tire that was going flat, and now that's holding air. It needs a battery, and this thing's ready to go. I wanted to show it on film here because I thought I was going to film something on it, but it isn't really worth a video. The thing just kind of always ran, and now it's ready to go. Yeah, don't mind me. I just wanted to show you guys the projects that I have lying around. I know you see those tractors by the shed all the time. You're probably wondering what's up with them. But with this Sabre tractor, I wish I could make videos like this each time that I acquire a project. This to me was awesome. You got to see me get the machine from the location. Of course, we fixed it up, right? And I sold it. A lot of times you get to see or hear me talk about it selling, but you don't always get to see me deliver it to the buyer's house. And then on top of that, he gave me a tractor in return. So this is all just like a cyclical thing, and all the repairs just keep on coming. So I really want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm hoping to keep up all these tractor videos, give you guys a lot to watch over the spring and summer here. But I'm just having a blast fixing these things, and you know, Facebook Marketplace is just as active as ever, and sales are doing really great. So stay tuned, guys. We got plenty more tractor videos coming up. Again, my name's Kyle. The channel's called Kyle by the Creek. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next tractor video.